How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning into my channel again today for another Marvel Rivals video. I am very excited to share this new tier list with you. This is going to be somewhat of like a prediction-based tier list, just kind of how we see things going right now, how we see the 2.5 updates being set up and the adjustments that are being made. I have a strong inkling of what the beginning of Season 2.5 is going to look like, at least the beginning of it. Obviously, things change as the season moves on, but I have a tier list so we can kind of take a look at that. Before we do that, however, I just want to again say thank you so much to all of you for supporting my channel and for subscribing and watching my videos. I'm just having so much fun doing this and connecting with you guys in the comments too. So for those of you that have not subscribed yet, if this is your first time seeing one of my videos, please take a moment to do so. Every sub makes it more likely that my wife will let me game more often. And so far we're on a good path here. We're doing super well and I'm just having a lot of fun with this. So I do want to give you guys a heads up as well. Just a quick reminder, my channel name is going to change here coming up. So just kind of keep a lookout for that. And I'm going to start doing some live streams. This is something I'm really excited about. I've been thinking about a lot. I'm going to schedule them out so you guys will have enough, notice in advance that you'll be able to plan for it. So you can hop in, you can watch me during my live streams doing some gaming. We can do some tier lists together. We can chat about the game. We can just hang out, whatever it is. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And what I do want to do with that as well is start doing some gifting. I want to start doing some in-game cosmetic gifting. So if you or someone that you know loves Marvel Rivals, shoot that person a link, have them check out my channel, join me on the live streams, and I'm going to start giving some opportunities to win some in-game cosmetics gifted by me to you guys, because I just want to show my appreciation for the support you guys have shown my channel. So with that being said, let's pop right into this tier list. Here it is. So I am pretty sure, I feel pretty safe in saying that we are going to be dealing with a meta that is kind of going to be determined by the flyers. We're going to have 4 of them now. Ultron would be here if I input an image for him. So we're going to have an additional one now. We're already seeing flyers really kind of take shape and form themselves within the meta here as we're coming to a close of Season 2.0. But now with 2.5, we're getting an additional one. We're going to be seeing some buffs here for Storm as well. She's already been kind of sneaking into like a top performing role. She's going to be even better now. I just think that we're going to see this meta kind of be dictated simply because of the presence of these flyers. Now, what I want to do is just talk about who you can pick to combat that, because I think that's going to be very important. We're going to be seeing a lot more of them. They're already flying around. They're already annoying. They're already kind of tough to deal with, and they're already doing a lot of damage. I mean, you have games that are simply just won by the presence of flyers, and I just think that that's something that we're really going to have to be dealing with. And I think that we see a little bit of that foreshadowing with the hero adjustments that came to some of the heroes that we have. Punisher being an example as well, and as well as Hela. Both of them are getting buffs, and I think that that kind of lends to realizing that maybe we need a little bit more power to deal with the upcoming flyer situation. I don't necessarily want to say that's going to be like a flyer meta, but I think the meta is going to be dictated by the presence of the flyers. So we've got 2 sections here. We've got top offensive choices. We've got top defensive choices. The reason I have them separated is because I believe that there's a play to make by saying we need to get in the way of the flyers, or we need to get the flyers out of our way, right? There's 2 different plays for that. So offensively, you're going to be basically sending them back to spawn, right? You want to get the elim on them. And if we're going to talk about top offensive choices, I would say Punisher's going to go up there for sure. He's getting buffed, and I think that's going to make him more valuable as someone to deal with them. Hela's getting buffed. She was already great against flyers. Hawkeye's getting a buff. He's getting the freeze arrow. We'll see how good that is and what that cooldown looks like, but he might start getting banned, truthfully. We'll kind of just see how this plays out, but he's going to be really good at dealing with them. I would say Scarlet Witch as well, especially with the team up, because you can easily flank and ambush a flyer and then just nuke them with that team up. Plus you've got the auto lock, so you can really bully the flyers with her. I think she'll be a strong pick, and I think we are going to see more Strange now that he's getting buffed. So basing her as someone who's going to be a top offensive choice, I think is much more validated now because we are going to see Strange played more often. I would say you could put Moon Knight up here as well. He does quite well against flyers. And I think if you are placing the Ankh, especially on certain maps, you have the ability to place the Ankh up high, and then you can just spam that, and you can just whittle away at their health and at least just annoy them, right? To get them to back off because they're constantly getting hurt. I think that Namor has always been good against flyers, especially playing a flank role where you get behind the enemy team, you get the squids up behind. That can be an easy way to deal with flyers. I think we're going to see some good play from him in that regard. I would say I would say that Bucky's going to be a good pick too, truthfully, just because his kit got reworked during 2.0, and I think that he's just going to be a really strong pick to pick away at them and slow them, and also the grapple is a big deal. So I think on some maps he'll probably shine more than others, but I do think he is a pretty valid pick for an offensive play. I would say you could put Warlock up there too. His burst shot does a lot of damage, and if you catch a flyer off guard, you can maybe even get a full elim on him. I'm not sure exactly how much damage it does, but especially if someone else is shooting at him, Warlock can certainly put the nail in the coffin in that case. I think that might be, you could put Loki up there too. Loki would be a good offensive choice. I think that's fair to say. Low, I don't know if I would say he's like a top offensive choice, but Loki can do quite well on flyers because of having the clones up and being able to do, it's more of like a burst damage situation. And Loki just has an amazing kit as well. He can also kind of feel like a little bit of a defensive role against them too, because he does have the lamps or the runes, whatever people call them. I forget what the actual name is. So he can be quite good in that regard too, but that falls more into the defensive. I'd say he could function decently as an offensive role. I feel comfortable saying that. It's going to be lower, right? You're not going to like pick him over these. I think honestly, if you did want to put it in order, I would maybe say this would be the order as just like a rough thing without spending too much time thinking about it. I think that this would be like if you wanted to put them in order of best to least priority, then I think probably look like this. For the top defensive choices, now this is just going to be about getting in their way, making what they're trying to do difficult. I would say Strange, yes, the shield's a big deal. Also dealing more damage now. He can fly up, he can block some different things from the flyers and create just a lot of difficulty for them to manage their ults, manage their attacks and things like that. Now he's getting the damage buff to fly up and also deal some damage to them. That's going to be really cool. Magneto, the shields, the bubble, also a very big deal. He's also getting a little buff, so I think we're going to see more of him. Emma, the ice shield, not to be ignored. I know she's getting a bit of a nerf, but we'll see if it really makes much of a difference. I don't know that it will. I'm not sure. It might. We might see less play from her, but I don't know. I kind of don't think so. Okay, now for more defensive plays, you could put Mr. Fantastic as a defensive choice. It's kind of tough to actually get the elims on the flyers as him, but you can bully them and you can annoy them, and you can deflect some of the stuff that they're doing, like especially Iron Man. You could put him on kind of a defensive play, his ability to just kind of soak in the damage and deflect it with his immunity state. I'd say so. You know what? You could put Iron Fist up here too for top offensive choices. He is getting a little bit of a nerf, but I'm willing to pop him up here because he can fly around and really just annoy them. So yeah, why not? For defensive then, again, just to kind of return to that, I would say that might be it for the top defensive choices. I feel pretty comfortable with that. I don't know who else would really go into that role as a defensive play, because you really are just kind of looking at that specific category of counter and just looking at stopping them from doing stuff without getting the elim, right? That's not the concept behind the defensive play. So I do kind of think that this would be, this would make the most sense, I think, based on who I think is going to be played a lot. Because look, you could say that Spider-Man or Psylocke or Star-Lord or what, you could say that they're good counters. I don't think that they're the top though. I don't think that they would match up really in the effectiveness of the rest of these. Spider-Man's getting a nerf. I don't know how much we're going to see him that often. And truthfully, I'm already kind of starting to see him less. We're not banning him anymore, and the lobbies that I'm in, it's infrequent, but then nobody's even playing him. That's just my personal experience. Maybe you guys are having a different experience with that, but right now I'm already not seeing him that often. Yes, Star-Lord can deal with the flyers, but that's not a conversation in game of we got to deal with these flyers. Can someone play Star-Lord? Right? You've got all these other top choices up here that would make a little bit more sense. Now with Jeff's heal doing damage, that's going to be a little bit more of a controlled situation, and having that water stream actually deal damage to the flyers. I don't know what that's going to look like. He could prove to be a good offensive choice against the flyers, but remains to be seen at this point. I think that's pretty powerful, honestly. I mean, you could put, just because I think that we are going to see a lot of Penny play coming up here, you can put Penny in the defensive. The stun is very valuable against the flyers, and by that token, you could also put Luna up here. As you can probably tell, I didn't think about this too much before I made this tier list, because I'm looking at some of these and I'm like, I think we can give some other people some credit, But I think we'll leave it at this. We'll simplify it. We'll leave it this way. I think that these picks are going to be phenomenal choices as season 2.5 rolls out. And as we have 4 flyers available to choose from, they're probably going to add some more flyers, right? I saw somewhere that there is, like, it was leaked that I guess Captain Marvel is being released at some point in time. I mean, she's going to fly, right? So I just think that we're really going to want to be thinking about how do we deal with flyers, because they're already a burden. And I think they're going to be worse now, especially with Ultron flying around them, shielding them and healing them the whole time. So I just think that we got to figure out a way to deal with this. And offensively, getting the elim on them, I think these are great picks. A little bit lenient here toward the end with Loki, I would say. Maybe even a little lenient with Moon Knight, but that's okay. Top defensive plays, this is pretty solid. I was playing earlier as Penny, and I was just constantly webbing the flyers. It's very valuable. If you are accurate and you're landing those stuns, it's pretty sweet. I think this should help. I think this is a good insight into what we might see happening, what I feel pretty comfortable is going to happen. And anyway, even if the flyer meta remains more or less how it feels right now, it's still something that has to be dealt with. So these are great choices for that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I look forward to continuing to make more content for you guys. And like I said, we're going to start running up some live streams here soon, and I want to start doing some in-game cosmetic giveaways during those live streams for you guys, just to hook you up as a thank you for supporting me on this journey. So if you have not subscribed yet, please take a second to do so. If you have and you're a returning viewer, shoot the link to my my page to one of your buddies that enjoys Marvel Rivals as well, and let's help me boost this community up so we can continue to do more and more. And I've got some really fun ideas for the future of this page as well. So anyway, thank you guys so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video.